Welcome to Real Flix Reviews. We're like a book club for people who hate reading. This week, as promised, we're doing the movie Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and we bring you movie news at the end of the program. This week, we have Jonathan Charney, James Stevens,
hello,
and the man who loves his little box, Ryan Preston. This week, as promised, because we weren't able to see it in theaters, we're doing Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. And James, what's this movie about?
You know, before Brian threw down a challenge at me a couple weeks ago, and this is a total surprise to John. He didn't know this is happening, but I'm giving a quick little review from my wife and I about The Town. Because
now,
Ryan...
explain for just a second. I told him I tried to defend The Town, and then he
said
that his wife hasn't seen it. And I said, watch the damn movie with her.
And keep your mouth shut.
Don't say anything while you're watching it. And let her give her own opinion.
Wait,
this is what I'm about to sit through right now.
Before this happens, can I give a guess idea of what her opinion of it was?
Hold on. No. I'm only going to give you guys the opportunity to decide how many stars she gives it. How many stars, Ryan? On our scale.
3.
2.
Okay. So this is what Jen said. This is actually word for word. I wrote down all the little things that she said about this movie. And mind you, I didn't say a word about this movie the whole time, but
you wouldn't.
But she did. So what she said is, first off, it's not a bad date night movie. She said it wouldn't be an epic fail. It does have a little bit of stuff for the girl. You know, kind of a little love story thing, but it is slow, as she said. It also needs less language, less shooting, less stupidity of characters. This is what she said. And I have what I said about it too. And when Ben Affleck gets mad, oh, I love this one. He looks like Fireman Bill from In Living Color.
I'll agree with that.
She actually said that. She also was disturbed by the line about recognizing the voices, where she felt the character said, if I ran into these guys, I would recognize their voices. She just felt that showed how utterly stupid the character was.
Well, I could argue that away with,
But she's sitting right next to Ben Affleck.
In heightened situations like that could be off, whatever.
I understand, but she really said that was really stupid. And she was also bothered by the fact that how calm she got when Ben Affleck reached over and gently caressed her hand as she's trying to figure out the combination of the lock. She said that if she was a real woman, she would have decked the guy, something along those lines.
Maybe your wife is just tougher than the average woman.
And she said that she would not watch it again, but it was not a complete waste of her time.
Okay.
And then I went over the stars and what each star meant. And I didn't, push her in any way. And she said that she would give it a 3.
Wow. So
Ryan was right on. Okay. Now, this is actually mine. Now, I'm just going to read this real quick just so we don't have an exceptionally long show. The movie actually had a very promising start, except the whole part of let me fall in love with this cute little bank lady. So, and then it starts to tell the story of this pretty much a loser bank robber. I mean, he really doesn't have a life at all, and pretty much how desperate he is to have sex with nasty skanks that have diseases. That's what they start to tell you, okay? Now, I do have to admit, I did really like Jeremy Renner's character in this movie.
Yeah.
It really stood out. He did a great job playing a psychopath, the guy from Bourne Ultimatum.
I didn't realize he was in this movie.
And Hawkeye. I do agree with you that even at this time when he did The Town, he was an underrated actor. He really was.
Well, he's playing towards his strengths at least a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, he's from that town, so he's got the personality of it. There. I mean, I'll give you a couple of things. as far as the relationship between him and the chick was a little
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I love the florist aspect of it. Them just kind of brought up in that life. I love the John Hamm's character.
No, I understand. Let me finish this up. Okay. I was a little bit upset, kind of like, is this town just full of dumb chicks? I mean, he goes around with like the stupidest lines I've ever seen. Really. I mean, my uncle can see us. Let's go into the bedroom and have sex. The other one is I go to nail salons to cry. This is actually word for word, but it looks like you use the laundromat. Really? And then it's just dumb women and skanks in this dude's life. I mean, is this all they got in that town? Is that what he's trying to portray? Because, I mean, this is supposedly the town that Ben Affleck came from. And he should change the name from the town to How to Fail at Relationships and Get Everyone Killed While I Was Doing Well at Bank Robbery. That's actually, I mean, come on. They got rid of...
Title. That was the working title.
Yeah, that was the working title.
So was Snakes on a Plane, and they kept it.
Now, I'm really going to piss you off here with this last little bit. And if you really, really want to discuss directors, considering that he directed this movie, it's just... How can I steal Scorsese's shitty styles? That's what I want to say about this. Now, let me finish. You got to go back and watch the initial bar scene. The whole crap that he pulled as far as spinning the camera as all these guys are talking. Let's go back to the restaurant scene and Taxi Driver, please. Rest of it is pretty much if you watch the movie Goodfellas.
Yeah,
where
Boston, yeah.
I mean, it's distant shots, and then as they're talking, he kind of zooms in and gets up close, and then it cuts back over to this person's face. That's Goodfellas. I mean, it's Scorsese ripoff of the directing style. Now, all in all, I gotta say, I don't think the movie is complete shit. I honestly gotta say that, I mean, I don't find much in this movie that is redeeming. There are a few scenes. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some scenes that I can appreciate. There are some story things that I can appreciate, but I still don't find that this movie has enough redeeming factors to give it a 3. So it's got to stick on a 2.
All right.
I'll cut it back from the 1 that I would initially give it, but I'll give it a 2.
Hey, this is a victory for me. I'm getting you to backpedal at least a little bit.
A little bit. Like that much.
That's still better than nothing.
So, okay. Yeah. Now on to Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Sorry about the tangent, guys, but that was a challenge.
Was almost a 10-minute challenge. I mean,
right.
So, yeah. I mean, yeah. I was trying to keep it short. This movie was released. Where is my release date? June 22nd, 2012. This is pretty much, I mean, as we said, it's Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. There's not anybody really, really dominant in the acting business that jumped on to do the roles in this movie. It's Benjamin Walker, Rufus Sewell, and Dominic Cooper are like the 3 guys that I would say are major prominent actors in this movie. It's got... All right, I'll come back to that. Pretty much what this movie is about is Abraham Lincoln, as a kid, his parents get, pretty much killed by vampires. I mean, his mom does, and his dad doesn't his dad get beat up by one later?
No, I think it just says his dad eventually died.
His dad just eventually died. I think his dad did get a little bit beat up by, or no, he was going to beat the guy up.
Yeah,
right.
It didn't end up that way. Anyway, so he pretty much goes and waits until he becomes adult, goes after it, tries to kill the guy, fails, gets trained by a vampire to kill vampires.
Yeah, gets approached by the vampire and
and learns his kung fu ninja skills from this vampire. And
which you don't know is a vampire quite yet.
Yeah, as he progresses, he ends up stepping out of that limelight into the presidential political role and ends up there. And this is pretty much the storytelling of his revenge seeking on the vampire nation.
So who wants to go first? Because I'll go first if you two don't want to.
Handle.
I also was going to mention the director.
Sorry.
The director is Timur. I'm going to screw this name up. Bekmambetov. Whatever.
It's a good thing you brought it up.
Yeah, he's from the SSR, USSR. So
the former Soviet Republic.
Former Soviet Republic.
So Russia.
Yeah, Russia. He's actually a Russian guy, and he came over, and I'm actually impressed by that. So go on.
One thing is this is also by the same guy who did the book Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, so it's in the same line. It's a mashup.
Which I really hope they do that sooner or later.
I'm actually surprised they made this movie. Not reading the book, I'm just surprised they made it, especially with the biopic of Lincoln coming out with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Right.
One thing, as I suspected, the action scenes are fast-paced and hyper-realistic. I was kind of expecting it just by the trailers, you know. One is, I love the rifle-axe combo. That was just...
Yeah, that was really cool.
The creativity of that was pretty cool. I mean, I figured something was going to be like that when they had the cane gun. Figured, okay, somehow...
Right. I really want that cane, by the way.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Not where we live.
Right.
Yeah, damn you, California.
I have to say it's a very interesting mix of historical events and literary license, especially concerning the death of Lincoln's mom.
Right.
That was the one part where I thought, because she died of in real life of milk poisoning, and the same day that they showed in the movie, the same the same death date. So I thought that was clever.
And then with his son also.
Yeah. I don't quite understand how kissing the kid was going to kill him. That's the part I didn't understand.
Well, I don't know if it was like a kiss or a nibble on the wrist type thing. It was kind of strange.
Because I don't in vampire lore, I don't remember any of that being there.
No. But I'm gonna get to.
I also don't remember silver being a weakness, but we'll get into that.
True.
Yeah, I'm gonna get. Yeah, I have that stuff in my notes as well.
I like the underlying reason for the Civil War in the movie, not slavery, but vampires. Yeah. I thought that was that was a really good underlying way to move the story. I thought that was pretty creative.
Yeah, definitely, and racist.
Yes. Yeah. And I love some of the cinematography, especially the sweeping intro into the Battle of Gettysburg. How it just kind of
that was pretty cool. Yeah,
I loved that.
Larger budget than I was expecting from this movie.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, a lot. And the other thing I noticed is the axe. The Lincoln's axe play was really well choreographed, especially some of the behind the back moves. He moved.
Oh yeah,
across, just transferring to one hand over the other through the back.
Right.
Yeah,
that was impressive.
The whole little training montage was pretty sweet.
It actually was. I thought it was well done on the training.
And towards the end, I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys, since you've seen the movie, know what this is about. My thought at the end of the movie was death by pocket watch is better than death by teacup.
Okay. I gotcha.
And I wish that the one thing I don't understand is some of the lore here is a little tweaked from traditional vampire lore.
Sure.
The one thing that I'm really tired of to a background of vampires to move the story is the whole Judas Iscariot, the Dracula 2000 thing.
Yeah.
I understand it, but that was not necessary at all in this movie. I thought that was lame, personally.
Well, you see, the only thing about the Judas Iscariot thing was that I saw, maybe I'm wrong, but all I saw on that one was that the reason why they have a weakness is silver. Other than that, the really old vampire dude was talking about that he watched the Jews build the pyramids. So obviously the silver didn't always hurt them.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the Judas Iscariot thing was BC.
But that,
right around AD.
I
mean, like, it was what 30 AD or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
but that plot point was thin as 3-2 beer. So I don't quite get the point of introducing that besides the weak introduction to silver.
Yeah.
Overall, I liked the movie. Giving into my rating here. Overall, I gave it a 2, but I gave it an additional point because of the entertainment factor. So for me, it's a 3 out of 5. I enjoyed the movie. Some of the plot points were a little thin.
Yeah.
But the action scenes and just the idea of Abraham Lincoln jumping over shit, killing people is very amusing to me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially being a man of higher stature is very amusing. The dude was tall.
Yeah. You got anything else?
No, that was it.
Now, my major thing was, I gotta say, it's a very interesting telling of vampire lore. I am not too pleased that they brought back the mirrors.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, what was the point of that? Yeah,
that's just been around forever.
Well, actually, that ties into my complaint about the silver because it was a silver mirror.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Doesn't make any sense, but
if I can think of that.
So, I wasn't pleased that they could move around during the day.
Yeah,
now,
that was off-putting.
Now, the thing that really bugged me was the fact that, I mean, most of them moved around during the day, but the homeboy that he hooked up with at first, what was his name, Henry?
Yeah.
They got trained by. I don't have IMDb up pulled up right in front of me.
Dominic Cooper, Henry Sturgis.
Yeah, Henry.
Sturgis.
Henry, if you watch him initially, he seems to be going mad from being in the sunlight, and then he runs around and grabs some
makeup.
Makeup type of sunscreen. I think it said SPF something on it.
I didn't even catch that.
I think it did. There was writing on it, and I think it did say SPF something. And he was rubbing it on his face and all this stuff. And then you watch these other dudes that are going around. They obviously don't have any sunscreen. Then Henry gets turned, and he gets turned immediately. And he doesn't have any sunscreen. He's in the daylight. He's not burning. His skin's not bubbling. I got an issue with that one. And the other thing is that they also threw in there that you cannot change unless your soul is corrupted.
Impure, yeah.
Corrupted, impure.
I thought that was a very interesting twist. I don't agree with it lore-wise, but I thought at least that was an interesting twist.
There would be so many vampires. It's not even funny.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, just about everybody.
Yeah. Even his wife. I'm sorry. Your wife is not that pure if she's like 28, 30. She's done something that makes her not pure, okay? The other thing is that you cannot kill your own kind.
Yeah.
That was an interesting one.
But you can beat the living tar out of each other.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, wait a minute. He's beating this dude halfway to death. And Jen's like, no, he's not actually trying to kill him. Dude, he's beating him.
So apparently if you're intense with any, like a knife or a gun, you can't do it. But apparently you can just beat the oblivion out of the guy.
Now, I'm bringing all this up because my next point is very funny in the sense that...
Hello.
The vampire slave owners actually sticks with the idea that came from Interview with the Vampire.
What's that?
Brad Pitt's character was a slave owner. So that was kind of what he was feeding on initially were his slaves. That was what Tom Cruise's character was going around. He was happy that they had a bunch of slaves there that they could feed.
He was trying to eat the help.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of interesting because, I mean, that's just, that kind of fit in with that whole genre. And yeah, I agree with you. I did like that they tied it in the Civil War with the whole, slave thing. And that was really cool. Although, it's just kind of interesting that way that they did that. There was a lot of stuff they did kind of stick with. But all in all, I got to say that this is a movie that if you take it too seriously, you're not going to enjoy it.
Oh, no. This is...
even the title tells you, do not take this movie seriously.
Well, if you fucking take this movie seriously just based off the title, you shouldn't have no reason watching this.
I got another point is that, and I got to go a little bit different on you about the watch punch. That was very anticlimactic to me.
Oh, hardcore, but it was entertaining as hell.
I mean, that was really anticlimactic. I mean, I was actually more enthralled with him killing the guy who killed his mom. I thought that was a way better death scene than Watch Punch over there. So I thought it was somewhat of a lame way to go, a little anticlimactic, but I mean, they had already had this, big burning, bridge that the railroad was on, and they're falling apart and all this stuff, and then he just goes.
No, I'll agree. I mean, it was
dead.
it was anticlimactic, especially the way they showed him winding the watch around his hand.
Yeah.
But at least it was amusing. It was amusing enough to the point like it's okay, I forgive that. That's stupid.
Yeah.
But at least it was funny.
Now, the last thing I got to bring up is that, I actually got to say, I am glad that I did not get, that I didn't see any Johnny Depp.
Oh, thank God.
Or much of any real Burton influence on this movie.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a new sort of take on it.
Yeah, I mean, because he's not a co-producer. He's not tagged as a co-producer, executive producer. He's tagged as a producer along with this Russian guy.
Who, Burton?
Yes.
I hate to do this to you guys. Keep talking. I'm gonna run to the restroom for just a second.
Well, you took your catheter out?
You know what, man? I got to change it. It's the bedpan starting to fill up.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, a Real Flix Reviews first. We have a bathroom break in the middle of the program.
Yeah, I need to go potty.
So we're going to keep recording this, apparently. I will. Oh, sorry. What was your point before?
I was just saying, I was actually very happy that, and I like Johnny Depp. Don't get me wrong. I do. I think he's been overplayed by Burton. And, I'm actually very surprised that Sweeney Todd was not the end of Johnny Depp's career or Burton's career. But, I was glad that I didn't get that, the kind of hokey darkness that Burton does. You know what I mean?
I think, if anything, if there was an influence by him, it would have been by The Big Fish. That type of feel, I think, would be the only.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. Is that
Did you just compare this to Big Fish?
Well, hold on. I know where he's going with this, and I'm gonna bring up where he's going. It wasn't a cloud dark feel for the movie, the cinematography, the way that the world felt. It was kind of just a musky tinge.
Exactly.
So that's what Big Fish has. That most Burton movies don't.
It had Big Fish had an underlying darkness on top of very poppy visual style.
Oh yeah, which is Tim Burton.
Yeah, but no. I mean, most Burtons, if you watch them again, and it's almost like if you're on a really cloudy day and the sun's like kind of pushing through the clouds.
Yeah, I got you.
That's what Sleepy Hollow's like. Sweeney Todd's like. Throw me another Burton live action. Batman. Edward Scissorhands. Most of those movies have like the sun is pushing through a cloudy day. Mm-hmm. The rest of
everything shot through a gray filter.
Yeah, and then Big Fish has more of like almost like a dusk kind of feel. Where the sun's there, but it's not very bright, and it doesn't make everything pop out.
So what was the rating you gave on this movie? Because I'm
well, I was gonna wait till Ryan finished up. You didn't give your rating, did you?
Yeah, I gave it a 3 out of 5.
Oh, okay.
He totally tipped his hand on that.
Oh, I wasn't gonna tip my hand yet. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll launch into my notes then, since
okay.
You want to on that.
All right. I won't show my hand then.
Well, okay. We already brought up pretty much most of the points. Basically, the style and look of this movie was much more than I was ever expecting. I loved the setting, mostly in the South. I like that the vampires still came from New Orleans, because that's obviously where the vampire lore originally came from.
Yeah.
The weapon was badass. The training was badass. I love the character of Sturgis. That was well played by whoever the hell that guy was. I've never seen him in friggin' anything before.
Yeah, we gotta pull that up.
Definitely doesn't have one of those.
Oh, that Dominic Cooper.
Oh, was that?
Okay, yeah, I'm not familiar with this cat. I think my favorite thing about this movie was they kept the history basically the same, but then just fucking added vampires.
Yeah.
I mean, everything was basically like a version of something that we know already happened to fucking Abraham Lincoln.
It's the perfect mashup of two different things.
It really was, and I didn't like the weakness to silver thing, the walking in the daylight thing. I mean, it just the stuff that they changed on the lore was kind of fucking bizarre.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
The guy's plot of whole, the classic "let's turn the world into vampires" thing was pretty, pretty
lame. Look at Daybreakers.
Elementary, just to kind of go for the of course they're just going to try to take over the world. We already brought it up, but I love the slave trade was the one supposed to be keeping the vampires under control.
Yeah, that was pretty cute.
It is just, again, racist, to say the least. But a good sort of explanation, a vampiric explanation of why the slave trade is what it was at the time. And then I think might be my absolute favorite thing was the vampires ended up being Confederate. Of course. I mean, duh.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty self-explanatory.
Well, not all the vampires.
The Union versus the vampire Confederate thing.
Exactly. We need silver. Save us.
Yeah. It's those kinds of moments that are just laugh out loud, kind of like, oh, I like this movie. You know what I mean? Just this is pure entertainment for entertainment's sake. I like the Mary Todd angle on it. His kid, which I think in real life actually just disappeared or something, didn't he?
I think his
No,
kid
I
died.
think he did die. I thought it was
Died
Scarlet.
sort of
I think he died of the same thing his mom did, the milk poisoning.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I thought I read that.
Thought it was
But
something
you know
else.
that got explained away through vampires. And then the whole end of the thing with, you know, like, oh, let's make you a vampire, and then, you know, refuses and then gets fucking shot in the head that night. That was a pretty nice way to end it.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
I have to admit, I was hoping that they were going to show it and have it be a vampire. I was hoping.
Yeah.
I was hoping that, you know,
Smooth vampire.
yeah, as you see it, he turns and you see a little bit of fang or something, you know.
Right. Yeah. And just speaking of the fangs, I liked the way the vampires looked.
Yeah, I did too.
I mean, out of all the damn types of vampires that we've seen throughout the years, this was closer to like a Nosferatu kind of old school.
I was just going to say that.
Style. With the big, real long, thin teeth. It was pretty nifty.
Yeah, I thought they did a really good job on that.
And
too.
again, you know, bigger budget really than I was expecting from it. I don't know where the hell they fucking got all this money off of a title like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Burton.
I would have loved to been in the room for that pitch and how they got that much cash for it. But dude, all in all, like I said, bloody entertaining movie. You know, can't defend it as a 4, but as a 3, this is a repeat watch for me. You know.
You know, that's kind of where I'm at on it too. Is I mean, I really want to give it like a 4 on the repeat watch because I mean, there is
I want to see it again.
There is definitely an ability to watch more of this movie again. You know.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of things that I can't give this a 4 on. And most of those
things about it.
Most of those things are, you know, those little nitpicky things. Like, I know that I'm going to get to the point of just being like, really? Slaves?
Right.
You know, I mean, vampires are held back because of slaves, you know, and so things like that kind of, there's little nitpicky things like that. Gotta say, there are parts of Mary Todd's character that I wasn't a big fan of.
No, the part at the end I really hated, where she just turned into a "you lied." It's like, no, he didn't. He told you the truth.
Yeah, you know,
right in the beginning, laying it all out.
Yeah,
it's like, how could you say you hid the truth? He told you straight up.
I killed 6 vampires, and she just didn't believe him. It's like, that's not my fucking fault.
Exactly.
I know there were some things like that really kind of irked me about her character. So on that, I mean, I can't really justify a 4, though I really want to give it 1 because, yeah, I'm going to see it again.
Yeah.
So it's a 3. I mean, the biggest thing about this movie, if you guys are out there, is it's you can't take it seriously. Don't look for any historical value in this movie.
Oh,
and the last thing I gotta say is, in comparison to Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies, this movie's a 10.
Right. Yeah.
Which I have seen, audience members.
why? That's like
Because I was mad that I couldn't watch Abraham Lincoln versus vampires. So I watched Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies, and it wasn't even a close second.
kind of pathetic, actually. So
we'll see.
Although, if you want to watch a really, really, really funny rendition of, I forget which general it was. I think it was Robert E. Lee. You watch that one.
Yeah. Well, the versus the Zombies one was what I expected this one to be.
Wait, did you actually see that Zombies too?
A little bit. But the way
See, I'm not alone.
Was literally exactly how I expected this movie to be. And that's the mentality that I sort of went in watching this one with.
You see, I actually knew better than that. I knew it could not be worse than that.
Obviously, it tipped it in a little more towards the legit side of filmmaking, but still, just with the type of content that you know was going to be in there, this is the definition to me of low expectations and exceeding that.
I think if you put it between the scales of a vampire movie, you're going to put it between Interview with a Vampire and Queen of the Damned. It's right in the middle between the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen to one of the greatest vampire movies ever.
Right,
you know, so
which ironically are not in the same exact story. technically.
Yeah. Well,
They're of the Vampire Chronicles is what I meant.
Yeah.
Both of them.
So I think, I like the movie. So
Yeah, I think we all kind of agree on this one.
it's a hat trick.
yeah.
Definitely.
It's rare. So now becomes the point for the movie news, and I got to tell
you know what? Hold on. I'm sorry. Before you get into the movie news, I wanted to bring this up. When I was looking up the IMDb stuff, I just typed in Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter in Google. At the bottom of the page, they have related search results. Like the top 6 or 7 related searches. Number 3, I think, was Abraham Lincoln really a vampire hunter?
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a request. If you do a paper on historic accuracy of this movie, would you please send it to Old Guy Tech? Thank you. And no, we
now
won't.
for movies.
Yeah, and no, we won't post it and show it on our website. I swear.
Yes. Just so you guys know, Abraham Lincoln has absolutely no relation to Van Helsing in any of his, family tree.
Nor does he have any relation to Vlad the Impaler.
Oh wow.
Well, actually, that one on Mary Todd's side
Does.
is full of lies.
So, golly. So,
Depressed me with your movie news.
so
Yeah,
okay.
bring it on.
So I told him this is a kind of depressing movie.
Like, I'm gonna bring it on.
Some of it.
Bring it on.
Damn it! Some of it
Come
really
on.
is depressing. So, since Reagan is dead, a former California governor is going back to his movie roles in The Legend of Conan.
Oh, Jesus.
So apparently somebody at your place, Ryan, is excited. So Arnold Schwarzenegger is coming back to his role in Conan. And from what I've read, at the end of the last movie in the 80s, the last scene you saw was Conan in his throne.
See, I already knew this.
Huh?
I already knew he was doing this.
Yeah, so but
I'm waiting for the depressing part.
that's depressing. Okay, the next one.
Wait. Is he actually going to be wearing a leather shirt, or is he just going to take his shirt off?
He's probably going to be back in that leather thong thing he wore.
Oh God, please no.
Lord help us all.
So this is interesting. The next Wolverine movie is set after X-Men: The Last Stand. And X-Men: The Last Stand was number 3 in the X-Men trilogy.
Wait.
Right, it was the last actual legitimate movie as opposed to the Origins movies.
Yeah.
They're continuing on after Jean Grey went Phoenix Psycho.
Yes, they are. And
Basically, after the epic end of X-Men, they're starting there.
yeah.
Okay,
And this
weird.
one, and this is when he found when he was in Japan, and he fought against the Silver Samurai.
Oh.
That's from what everything I've read, this is what it's about.
So wait, there's no Lady Deathstrike
kinda-
anymore.
That's got to be it. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
And the one that I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to ask if you knew who was directing it or if it was going to be Singer again.
Burton,
Oh, let's see.
Scorsese,
I don't see any of. I actually don't see that in my notes.
Affleck.
The next one is the Iron Man 3 trailer's out,
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I do know about it though.
and I'm looking forward to this because the Mandarin's in it.
Right.
Yeah, I am looking forward to that one as well. Hopefully, they do a good job with it. They continue on with they continue the quality that they have,
And
that would be very good.
From what I've read, he's not the green dude with a bunch of rings. He's
What?
the leader. Do you remember the first one and the people that kidnapped him? From what I've read, he's going to be the leader of the group that kidnapped him. And he might have the power rings. I haven't heard anything about that, but he's not going to be a green Asian dude.
Okay.
That's fine.
Which fits perfectly within the universe that the Disney Marvel set in the movies, I
Sure.
think.
Yeah,
And
so that'd be
everybody
interesting.
still hates terrorists, so that's good.
Yeah.
And Sam Raimi apparently decided after butchering Spider-Man, decides to butcher Poltergeist. So he's
Well,
remaking.
Damn, me, dude, that guy's got a really, really, really quirky and distinctive style of filmmaking.
Yes, he does.
Anybody who's an Evil Dead, Army of Darkness fan is aware of that.
You know, I wasn't too much on the Evil Deads, but I did like the Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness was fucking ruled.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I have to say though, I like Spider-Man up until the last one.
Wait, the newest one?
No, excuse me. I liked.
Okay.
I used to like the Sam Raimi ones until I saw the last Spider-Man. You know, I liked 1, 2, and 3 until the new one.
Was bullshit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Really?
I really liked the new one a lot better than anyone with Tobey Maguire.
You actually were you were trying to defend the Tobey Maguires. I always thought those were crap.
No, first one was good. Second one was better. Third one was dog shit.
Hold on. But
Hold on.
Let me clarify this for a second. I liked them because they were better than the previous renditions of any live-action Spider-Man made up to that point, because there were some in the 70s.
Yes, I know.
They were the best they could do up until the new one, when I just liked it. I think it was a much better version.
Not to mention that, I mean, that was the first comic book movie, wasn't it? Wasn't the original Spider-Man the very first comic book movie that a major studio did?
Howard the Duck.
No, I'm saying the actual, you know,
that was a
comic. He is right.
Comics or DC.
Dick Tracy.
Howard the Duck was a comic, and it was made in the 80s.
Dick Tracy.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware, but, you know.
It was one of the first big box office ones, though.
Dick Tracy, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Do you want me to keep listing the comic book movies, or
but I'm saying the one that started the trend of the current let's remake every
Marvels.
That's a good question. I'm not quite
I think
sure.
it is. I think Spider-Man was the first one that they did of the Marvel series. Now, gosh, I can't think of this. Anyway, they lost me on all those movies when there were no web shooters. I had absolutely no respect for them.
I liked the newest one, The Amazing Spider-Man.
I know, but I'm saying the original Spider-Mans, I could not like them because there were no web shooters.
Well,
and
it took away from the canon. I agree with you on that. But it was a decent... I mean, of course, everybody's thought about that angle of what if it ever just came out of his wrist. So I understand why they did it, at least.
Well, I think what it is they're playing to the least common denominator in the Sam Raimi versions. Is they're not playing... The new one, they played to fans. If you're a fan of the actual comic, of the canon, you're going to be able to pick it apart and go, oh, that was there. When the other ones...
Not especially, or not especially, but not only that, but the fans that had become indoctrinated with Spider-Man through the Sam Raimi stuff was able to appreciate the Amazing Spider-Man, as well as the fans who weren't fans of the Sam Raimi stuff like that. So it really, was able to capture the same type of, or the same large group of audience.
I agree with you, but I'm serious. I mean, was Raimi not expecting fans to go and see a Spider-Man movie and then not to get pissed off?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he was expecting them, the fans,
to all of a sudden be like, oh, wow, his version is fantastic.
I think if anything, it's two. I think it's a couple of things. I think it got movie studios to realize that people are going to see movies about superheroes. And two, I think with the Marvel ones, it helped them realize that if you can stay truer to canon, you're going to make more people happy, because you're going to get fans who are going to pay ticket after ticket after ticket in the theater to get butts and seats. Well,
I think that was what they really found out through the X-Men. I think they found out how big of a flop they were heading towards with the X-Men. Because I think it was Wolverine. I think was the final straw for fans.
Yeah, Origins.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Origins. I'll definitely give you that. Definitely.
Origins was the final straw. I mean, we put up with it through the Spider-Mans. We put up with it for the first X-Men. We got pissed off the second X-Men. We really got pissed off the third X-Men. And then when they did Wolverine's Origin, I think that was when the tomatoes, the spit, and the feces started flying their direction.
So to kind of sidetrack and back to what I was to my movie news, ladies and gentlemen.
I just did that.
Here's the last movie news is kind of wondering where the hell they're going to take it. According to news reports, Taken 3 is now going to happen.
Man.
Here's what I've read, and it's only been a short tidbit. Is because Liam Neeson came out and said we're not going to do a second one. I don't know how, because he even said that you can't play stupid to the audience, which if you made a third one, you would be. So they say it's going to be different. So here is my hope, my theory. They're going to have him rescue somebody else. They're going to have his skill. My guess and my hope is they're going to have the ultimate badass, who this old guy character is. They're going to bring him back to rescue some bigwig, and you get to see him go all nuts on him.
All Black Ops and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, the second one got a whopping 18% Rotten Tomatoes rating or something. I mean, That is not a well-received movie.
But it got like $50 million, though. I mean,
that was not.
Well, that's because everybody wanted to see, because everybody liked Taken. That's the thing about sequels is you're banking off the popularity of the first one, and all you have to do is get people to sit through it once, and then you already have their money. Even if they walk out saying, "Oh, that movie sucked," they still paid for it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we have a show, so we can talk shit about it.
Right.
So that's. Wow! Apparently,
Party!
Wow. So yeah,
yeah.
I'm legitimately shocked they're making another Taken. I still want to see Taken 2. I'm just refusing to see it in theaters.
I agree with you. I'm not doing it in theaters either.
Because if I was him, I would have never taken my daughter outside of the continental U.S.
You know, Liam Neeson, stay away from movies like The Grey. Get out of the Taken series.
I like him. I love his version of the badass character, though. I love him in the first Taken. I love that I'm a badass, non-Jedi version. I like that.
I agree with you. I think that, you know, the whole thing about his character and his, you know, I mean, he's good as that type of character. But, dude, you're being typecast. Look at everybody else that has been typecast that was a great character. Bruce Willis.
But the guy's got enough of a body of work to where people remember his stuff from back in the day, and not to mention he's getting old, so I mean he's probably doing a lot of this shit just for fun.
Yeah, I mean,
unlike
but the
Nick Cage, who's doing it for money.
The Grey.
Yeah, The Grey was weird.
Weird?
I still want to see it. I just haven't had the chance. So,
all right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, to wrap up the show, this week was the hat trick. Huh?
I got my pick. Just
okay. Oh, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I forgot.
Go on.
Next week is James's pick.
No, do your hat trick thing.
Okay. So sorry, little inside baseball there, ladies and gentlemen. This week it was the rare hat trick for Real Flix reviews. I gave it a 3, James gave it a 3, and Ryan gave it a 3. And next week is James's pick. So what are you picking for next week?
I'm doing it. I've been waiting on this one.
I don't like this.
I'm finally doing it. Julian Sands is coming out of the box. A warlock flees from 17th century to 20th century with a witch hunter in hot pursuit.
You're doing it. You're picking Warlock?
I'm picking Warlock.
Yeah.
Julian Sands is coming out of the hat.
Wait. So you lied to me on purpose about beforehand.
No, I have another one.
Okay.
I've got more than that.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, he actually said, I'm doing this movie. This is a complete surprise to me, because generally we talk about this beforehand.
Yeah, this is the first time hearing about this bullshit, too.
I have to say, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't seen The Warlock in years.
You know what you said that actually put me on that?
What?
Poltergeist. We got to do horrors. I'm pulling horror out.
Okay, then I got the perfect movie to get back at you.
He's trying to glare at me.
It's kind of hard when he's frozen.
Yep, I'm frozen.
Oh, you are.
So, ladies and gentlemen, for Jonathan Charney, James Stevens, and Ryan Frozen Preston, we'll see you next week.
This episode of Old Guy Tech TV is brought to you by Ward's Automotive, specializing in Banks Power and Pack Brake, servicing your car or truck, and specializing in diesel engines. Over 30 years of service, located in Diamond Springs, California. Give them a call at 530-626-5588.